Preliminary card. Heavyweight fight. Nasseri. Jon-Joe Winchester.
Taking on the Iranian-born Phil Nasseri, now living in New York City. He's a taxi cab driver. Jon-Joe Winchester, known racist.
Klansman.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his gear.
Possibly current Klansman. So,
No, that's current. I mean, he has 3 Ks on his gear. I don't think that's
He did say in his pre-fight interviews that he wanted to punch the brown off of Phil Nasseri.
Even I don't think that's possible.
No, it really isn't, and I even feel uncomfortable talking about it. But let's just say it's like he had Ariel Sebastian, our back cage announcer, in a corner just spouting out the most ridiculous stuff. And we're gonna see Nasseri, of course, is making his HCL debut. If you've seen Kumite, of course, then you've seen that Phil Nasseri made his debut at Kumite too, but he lost in the first round. I believe it was to Albert Munch.
I believe it was.
Who won it all. Jon-Joe Winchester lost in the first round to Andre Zaporizhia, who went to the finals and lost to Albert Munch in that final tournament.
Fucking deformity.
So these guys we've seen before.
Jon-Joe Winchester, not the best record.
No, he is 3 or 0-4. He is not doing very well. He's got to all sorts of guys. He's lost to Georgie Magumbo, lost to Delmar Perkins, but a big rocks Nasseri, and there is so much venom and hatred behind that. Oh, well, Nasseri goes for the takedown. That's a smart move for him. And Winchester, accomplished on the ground, goes for it. Well, he uses the omoplata to transition to get him, but he rolls through, and Nasseri back to guard.
And when I say that not the best record, I mean Jon-Joe Winchester does not have the best record in life, really.
Yeah, well, you know, when you make that sort of decision to be such a scathing racist, it kind of limits your life in general.
I mean, backstage he was talking about naggers, but with his accent he may have been saying something else.
Well, you know, he is from Birmingham, Alabama. It's a very thick accent. It's tough to understand. I really hope that's what he was saying.
Yeah, I hope he's just talking about people annoying him.
I really hope so. But meanwhile, bit of a ground battle here at HCL 16. Again, these are the prelims. I'd like to remind everyone to please go ahead and contact your cable provider. Order HCL 16 Inexplicable Crying in just about 12 minutes from now. And you gotta wonder, for a racist like Jon-Joe Winchester, does the fact that he has to interact with someone that he considers, he kept referring to him as a person of interest. He wouldn't even say his name. He just kept referring to him as a person of interest.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he may like me or some sort of like honor of beating someone like clean in the octagon-like structure. That may be it.
Well, and speaking of Jon-Joe Winchester believes his race to be clean, the only clean and pure one. And he is saying, again, punching the brown out of Phil Nasseri. We don't condone it, folks. He's a reprehensible human being. We're kind of happy that he's not won yet.
Don't vary from the game plan. Are you paying attention?
But this is, of course, our main event, our second of 2 preliminary fights. Yes.
Gentlemen, ready?
I always enjoyed that, Randy.
Righty. Also, something about Winchester saying his race is clean. His family tree is a fucking stump.
Well, whether that's true or not, I think figuratively, I suppose. But Nasseri really working for it. Gets the body lock. Just powers Winchester to the ground. Winchester is very accomplished on the ground, actually, from the efforts we've seen. But Nasseri just insists on taking us to the ground. Oh, good punch right there. The half guard. And Nasseri had to open up a cut over the eye of Nasseri, his left eye, be able to wriggle out, but Winchester keeps at it. Meanwhile, we're seeing Winchester really scrambling, trying to improve his position, able to roll through as Nasseri gave up the back, and now we're seeing Winchester working from the guard, see if he can keep this exciting, keep this moving. Excellent ground battle here. Again, it's not the most exciting of like a stand-up battle. As Winchester gets mount, this could spell a real problem for Nasseri, who's able to wriggle out a little bit into half guard. But
and we know Winchester is used to night crawlers because he probably has a diet consisting of them.
yes, that
I'm
is.
not talking about the X-Men. Talking about actual worms.
And again,
Oh shit!
hammer fists, and Winchester is pounding out, trying to get Nasseri able to withstand that little bit of an assault. And Winchester now going for the takedown. Very surprising. That could have spelled a lot worse for Phil Nasseri, who at this point might just be willing to gets mount himself, posturing up.
Oh,
Wait, but
yeah.
very bad
Nasseri's bleeding. Oh,
punch. And he goes for a heel hook. We haven't seen a lot of submissions from Winchester, but he does find himself to be a submission expert.
does he even know how to do him?
Oh, he's got it locked in a little bit. Again, the danger of a heel hook is that you can, again, if you don't have it deep enough, and at that point it becomes a knee bar. As you can see, Nasseri able to just kind of use his other foot to push off of the hip of Winchester and slide out. And that brings it around to a close between Winchester and Nasseri. These two heavyweights, both looking for their first win in HCL. Nasseri in his debut.
Now, I don't know if Winchester would be happy with Reginald Cutman working on him there.
That's probably true. And again, you see his. Well, he refers to him as the help in his corner, but we all kind of know.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time you talk to Winchester, he says he knows a lot of submissions. We just don't see them. I mean, maybe
Well, he normally get his ass kicked.
that's probably true. He sinks in that heel hook. It's not a bad heel hook. He's got. See, what the problem is, his left foot is not wrapped around all the way. If he can kind of figure for the legs.
More like a tweener.
And you see Nasseri was able to kind of shove out. The other danger of a heel hook like that is that. Well, I gotta say that's better than what Jon-Joe Winchester just screamed at her. So I gotta say that's. And Winchester is ready and charges in, but maybe thinks better of it. Nice kick there by Winchester. And Nasseri shoves off, throws a couple punches.
Yeah.
He seems to be wanting to keep the distance here. Maybe he saw that submission attempt and said, okay, maybe I want to keep it standing. Nice uppercut. Winchester dives in with the pound, looking from the guard. And Winchester again looking for that ground and pound, those hammer fists that spelled some trouble for Nasseri earlier on in the fight. And lets him stand up and misses the takedown and eats a couple of punches as he was getting up. His hands were dropping. It's a very dangerous thing to go for that double leg takedown. If you don't get it, your face is exposed. Oh, Nasseri keeping busy. It's 3 minutes to go in this very what is most definitely an exhausting fight for these two men. So much grappling, just supporting the
A lot of hate.
corner. All that hatred. It's exhausting. I mean, you know, so much emotion. You run.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, Layton.
Yes.
But I just noticed. Phil Nasseri's back tattoo looks like a very unimpressed, like, panda bear or something.
That is.
Wow, it's unfortunate.
I never noticed that before. I might have to find out. I might have to get Ariel Sebastian to talk about to find out about his tattoos, if that was an intention or if it just kind of happened that way.
That is something.
It sure is.
Huh.
Meanwhile, Winchester goes with the old school. It looks like someone in a hood on his back, and just.
And he has a scythe.
Meanwhile, he's kind of just pressing forward, but eating a lot of punches as he goes in, really trying to attack, like finish that double leg. But Nasseri with a very good sprawl, working from the guard here, and Winchester goes to mission control. This is definitely a stalling tactic. He's not really moving from there. He's kind of just wiggling, and Maxwell Ponderosa sees the stall and says, "Stand it up." I can't argue with that.
Yeah, Ponderosa always notorious for checking people from touch as well.
Yes, and another big knee. Or was it a big uppercut? Sorry. Nasseri dives in again. He's going to try to finish this one strong. It's very even, but we're going to go to the judge's decision here.
And you know what's cool? If the judges say Winchester won, we can call him racist.
Well, whether or not we'll go to the judges' race cards, scorecards, I mean, and find out who has won this fight. It is very close. Could go either way. I'd say Winchester maybe took at least one round. It might come down to just what do the judges score better. Strikes like that.
His head went back.
You know, I think I'd give the second round to Winchester for as many times as he connected on the ground and pound with Nasseri. But nonetheless, I think Nasseri might have been busy enough to make this really close. We could have a split decision for all I know. It all depends on what the judges say.
Maybe the first ever split decision in HCL
Ladies and
history.
gentlemen,
It's true.
after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score it 29-28, 29-28.
Well, there it is.
29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, the champ.
Well, still undefeated is still Nasseri, but still unable to get his first win is Jon-Joe Winchester.